What's up, me Raandigars? We're back with another Hidden Details in Persona games. This video would contain spoilers for Persona 3 Reload, Persona 3 FES, Persona 4 Golden, Persona 5, and Persona 4 Arena. This is a disclaimer if you haven't played these Persona games. In Persona 4, the final boss is actually foreshadowed. During the Gekkoukan trip, you have a class with a teacher named Edogawa. Now, those who have played Persona 3, everybody knows that this teacher is annoying, but his lectures are actually relevant to the game. Now, if you're focused on his lectures and also remember them, you'll see that he's talking about Izanami and Izanagi. It talks about Izanami's death after giving birth to Gagatsuchi and Izanagi's involvement. It's funny how out of all the topics, this topic was touched by Edogawa during the Gekkoukan trip. Because the final boss of Persona 4 is Izanami and Narukami's first persona is Izanagi. Quick note, while making this video, I got spoiled for Persona 4 Arena, even though I'm currently playing it with my brother, and I found out that the final boss for Persona 4 Arena, or at least I think Persona 4 Arena Ultimax, is Kagatsuji. Just for reference, Kagatsuji is the child left by Izanami before she dies, so I guess Edogawa is foreshadowing 2 games instead of 1 this time. And I hate the fact that I got spoiled. In one of my hidden details video, I talked about how Persona 4 Golden makes a mistake during the Shu Nakajima social link of Persona 4. During this social link, a social stats is given, which is actually required to be full to perform this social link. However, this time I want to talk about Persona 3 FES and one mistake it actually has in the game. Persona 3, Persona 4, and Persona 5 have the Velvet Room boss battles. It is what it sounds, a fight with the Velvet Room attendants. Now, these bosses are New Game Plus and Endgame content. However, if you do New Game Plus in Persona 3 FES and go fight Elizabeth before recruiting Fuuka, there's an oversight in the boss battle. Now, the boss fight requires you to go alone and fight her. However, you will have your navigator with you. Now, before recruiting Fuuka, your navigator is actually Mitsuru. Now, if you do this boss fight before recruiting Fuuka, there's an oversight. The dialogues have not been altered for Mitsuru, and instead, the dialogues are there for Fuuka still, even though you haven't recruited her yet. It's a funny oversight and tells you how Persona 3 had like budget issues and time issues, and how this was the game that saved Atlus from bankruptcy. Yeah, this should have been Mitsuru. I did a glitch in the system.
Is it just me, or does it seem like she wants to fight? What? Her power is unbelievable! Who is she?
You guys know, you can see in the video, I only did the monorail mission, so Fuuka isn't even in the story. In the Persona 3 series, one of the features is to check exam scores of yours and your friends. It basically tells you how everyone is in their studies and gives a grasp on the character. In the initial exam, if you see everybody's scores, you can see that Junpei has scored quite low. Now, if you check Junpei's score after the exam conducted after 11/22, which is November 22, you'll see that Junpei has scored average. But why is that? Well, it has something to do with the date I mentioned, November 22. During this date, Chidori passes away. And the whole character arc of Junpei and Chidori is that Junpei does not know how to answer Chidori's question, what Junpei wants to be in the future. However, later on in the story, Junpei realizes the importance of this question. And you can see a determined Junpei that actually wants to study and become something in the future. Hence, you can see that he has improved his scores. If you have played Persona 5, you would know that Futaba is a cultured queen. She has a lot of action figures and plays a lot of games. However, what if I tell you that there is somebody else in the Phantom Thieves who's also cultured? After saving Futaba, you meet her in a room. And then Yusuke, of all people, makes some changes to Futaba's action figures. If you don't recognize these poses, I would say go watch Dragon Ball, it's an amazing anime, but these poses are from Dragon Ball. The Ginyu Force from the Dragon Ball series actually makes these poses. This is a direct reference to the Ginyu Force. And what's funny is that Persona 5 references Dragon Ball a lot, but that's for another video. Persona 4 Arena is a fighting game which includes the cast from Persona 3 and Persona 4. In my opinion, there is one mistake in Persona 4 Arena that is overlooked. If you go to the character select screen, you can see that the Persona 3 cast have their second awakening, whereas the Persona 4 cast does not. Now, it does make sense the Persona 3 cast have their second awakening tied to the story, and the Persona 4 cast's second awakening is not tied to the story but social links. And you can complete the game without focusing on their social links. Well, except one. Well, those who have played Persona 4 Golden would know that Teddie's social link is actually tied to the story. It is an important social link to the story and it ranks up itself. Well, what happens when the social link ranks up to 10? Teddie gets his second awakening. Now, Teddie's second awakening persona is Kamui. However, in Persona 4 Arena, you can see that Teddie is using Kintoki Doji. Some people might make the argument that this is for gameplay purposes in Persona 4. And maybe this second awakening does not count, but in my opinion it's either an oversight or the devs did not want Teddie to have his second awakening. In Persona 3, during the Hermit Arcana boss fight, Shinji talks about a show being cancelled in Polonia Mall. Now normally this isn't a big deal and it just feels like part of the story and nothing too important. However, in Persona 4 during the events of Eva Todai, you can see that Rise mentions that she had a show in Polonia Mall which got cancelled. The event was in Club Escapade and Rise's show got cancelled there. Shinji also mentioned this, and this makes me wonder, is Shinji a fan of idols? Now I really hope that when you enter Shinji's room, you can see figurines of different idols from the Persona series. That would be hilarious. Hope you enjoyed this video, my Raandigars, and comment below if I should look at other hidden details in Persona games. Consider subscribing. I'm trying to make this YouTube thing an actual thing. I'll see you guys next time with another Persona, Dragon Ball, Fairy Tail, Shin Megami, whatever video. Bye 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 bye.